Wake up, everybody! It's World War III!
Oh, Bart and I are going to see an R-rated movie Saturday.
For over 30 years, The Simpsons has amazed everyone with its freaky ability to predict the future. From world-changing events to major discoveries, their spot-on guesses make us wonder, is this just a cartoon, or are we watching a crystal ball in action? Today we're diving into the wildest Simpsons predictions that came true, from massive wildfires in Los Angeles to fears of World War III. And even the rise of AI, it's like they've been calling the shots all along. And it gets crazier. Remember Bitcoin? They hinted at its big rise. A weird food mashup no one saw coming? Yep, they called that too. Oh, and Homer Simpson? He solved a scientific mystery years before real scientists did. We're breaking down these jaw-dropping moments, connecting them to real-life events, and asking the big question. How does The Simpsons always get it right? Get ready. These predictions might change how you see the future. 12. Simpsons predict LA fires. Wildfires are a terrifying reality for people in Los Angeles. But could an episode of The Simpsons have seen it coming? One TikTok user seems to think so. In a video that's gone viral, they point to episode 12 of season 18, called Little Big Girl. In this episode, Springfield is hit by a massive wildfire that puts the whole town in danger. The scenes in the episode look shockingly similar to the real-life wildfires in Los Angeles. Homes burned to the ground, firefighters battling non-stop flames, and a community filled with fear. The TikTok post has already been viewed over 500,000 times, and people have flooded the comments. You see things like, "They predicted it again," or "How do they always know this stuff?" Some people even joked that The Simpsons should make an episode about world peace, hoping it might magically happen too. But is this a prediction, or just a coincidence? Experts have a different take. They say the creators of the show often pull ideas from real-world problems that keep happening, like climate change and natural disasters. For example, California's wildfire problem has been getting worse for years because of hotter weather and dry conditions. The wildfire in Little Big Girl might just be a nod to these growing issues rather than a vision of the future. Still, the similarities are hard to ignore. Areas like Pacific Palisades, which people often talk about when discussing California's wildfire risks, feel strangely close to what happens in the episode. Critics have pointed out that Springfield's location is always left vague on purpose, so it can connect to all sorts of real-world events, making it a good way to show big-picture problems. Even so, fans aren't convinced it's just a coincidence. You'll find comments like, "The Simpsons always know," and "This is way too accurate to ignore." For many, the show's track record of strange predictions keeps the mystery alive. The blazing fears of wildfires might fade, but they can't compete with the chilling thought of global conflict. From the burning forests of California to the simmering tensions between nations, there's one prediction from The Simpsons that dives deep into humanity's darkest fears: the looming shadow of World War III. 11. Prediction of World War III. Could an animated show from decades ago have seen one of the most terrifying possibilities in human history coming? Over the years, The Simpsons has made some eerily accurate predictions, and its hints at World War III are no exception. One of the earliest moments came in 1987 during a short On the Tracy Ullman Show. Homer wakes his family in a panic, screaming that World War III has begun. It's played for laughs, but the fear it taps into wasn't a joke for the time. Back then, the Cold War's nuclear threat had everyone on edge, and this skit perfectly captured those anxieties. Years later, in the 1995 episode Lisa's Wedding, the topic came up again. During a casual chat at Moe's Tavern, Lisa's British fiancé jokes about World War III. Moe responds with a darkly funny, "That's true," adding an unsettling twist to what was meant as a joke. Even as satire, it's a nod to the kind of fears that have always lingered in the background of global politics. Today, those fears feel more real than ever. With conflicts like the Russia-Ukraine war, tensions in the Middle East, and rising rivalries between world powers, the idea of a global war doesn't seem so far-fetched. Experts have even warned that a misstep in NATO territory or unchecked aggression could trigger a worldwide crisis. Whether these moments in The Simpsons are chilling predictions or just sharp reflections of our collective fears, they leave us with a serious question. Is the world moving toward another devastating war? Or can we find a way to step back from the edge? But when you think that's the scariest possibility, The Simpsons takes it up a notch. What if the real threat isn't nations fighting each other, but machines rising against all of us? 10. AI and robots. The idea of robots and AI taking over once seemed like science fiction, but now it's becoming part of our daily lives. And of course, The Simpsons was way ahead of the curve. In the 2012 episode Them, Robot, Mr. Burns decides to replace all his human workers at the Springfield nuclear power plant with robots. At first, it looks like a genius idea. Productivity goes through the roof. But things quickly spiral out of control when the robots start malfunctioning, putting the whole town in danger. This storyline isn't just about slapstick comedy. It's a sharp commentary on real-world fears about automation and AI taking over jobs. The episode shows a future where human workers are pushed aside, creating mass unemployment and leaving society struggling to adapt. The Simpsons has explored the darker side of AI in other episodes too. Remember Itchy and Scratchy Land? The park's animatronic robots gain independence and start attacking their creators. It's a scenario that hits close to home with ongoing debates about AI safety and ethics. Even earlier, in Lisa's Wedding, the show touched on how technology could change everyday life. In that imagined future, librarians are replaced by robots, hinting at a world where human roles might slowly disappear in favor of machines. As AI and robotics continue to grow, these cautionary tales feel more relevant than ever. The real question isn't just whether machines will take over, but how we can manage this shift in a way that benefits everyone. But automation wasn't the only cutting-edge topic The Simpsons took on. The show also ventured into the mysterious and ever-changing world of cryptocurrency, shedding light on the rise of Bitcoin in a way only they could. 9. Bitcoin's infinite value. The Simpsons has a way of seeing the future, and their take on Bitcoin is another example of how they've left fans amazed. In Season 32, Episode 18, titled Burger Kings, which aired on April 11, 2021, there's a scene that's become legendary among Bitcoin enthusiasts. Marge is watching a financial show on TV when a ticker scrolls by, humorously showing Bitcoin's value as infinity. It's a funny moment, but it sparked a lot of discussions about how unpredictable and wild the cryptocurrency world is. This wasn't just a random joke. On one hand, it paints an optimistic picture of Bitcoin's potential to change the financial system. On the other hand, it's a reminder of how risky and volatile digital currencies can be. The same episode pokes fun at stock market chaos, like the GameStop frenzy, making a point about how today's markets can feel more like a circus than a system. It wasn't the first time The Simpsons touched on cryptocurrency, though. In Season 31, Episode 13, titled Frink Coin, Professor Frink creates his cryptocurrency. The show even explains blockchain technology in an easy-to-follow way, showing just how curious people are about the new financial systems shaping our future. While Bitcoin was created in 2009, long before The Simpsons featured it, the way the show includes cryptocurrency shows its knack for staying ahead of trends. The joke about Bitcoin's infinite value is more than just humor. It makes people think about what the future of money could look like. With cryptocurrency still evolving and making waves, The Simpsons leaves us asking an important question. Is Bitcoin's infinite value a hopeful dream or a warning about the risks of speculation? 8. Higgs boson equation. In 1998, The Simpsons aired an episode called The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. In it, Homer decides to become an inventor. While brainstorming, he writes an equation on a chalkboard that, years later, shocked scientists and fans alike. Why? That equation came close to predicting the mass of the Higgs boson, a particle that wasn't officially confirmed until 2012. The Higgs boson, often called the God particle, is a key part of understanding how particles in the universe gain mass. Its discovery at CERN's Large Hadron Collider was a huge moment for science. But Homer's chalkboard scribble adds a surprising twist to this achievement. Dr. Simon Singh, a physicist, later explained that the equation Homer wrote includes constants like the Planck constant, the gravitational constant, and the speed of light. These are all key elements in figuring out the Higgs boson's mass. While the prediction wasn't exact, it was close enough to leave people stunned. This wasn't just a lucky guess. Many of the Simpsons writers have advanced degrees in science and math, and they love sneaking these clever details into the show. David X. Cohen, one of the creators of the equation, worked with his astronomer friend David Sheminovich to make sure it was scientifically plausible. What's amazing is how this mix of humor and science sparks curiosity. Homer's doodle isn't just a gag, it's a gateway to thinking about the mysteries of the universe. The Simpsons once again proves it's more than a comedy show. It's a blend of entertainment, education, and pure genius. Just when you thought Homer's outlandish ideas couldn't get any wilder, along comes Tomaco, a bizarre mix of tomatoes and tobacco. But the madness didn't stop at hybrid plants. The Simpsons took a sharp turn into the unexpected world of food scandals with a prediction that seemed too outrageous to come true. 7. Homer's Tomaco creation. In the 1999 episode E.I.E.I. Annoyed Grunt, Homer Simpson showed off his strange brand of genius yet again. When his crops started failing on his farm, Homer came up with a crazy solution, using plutonium to fertilize the soil. The result was Tomaco, a weird hybrid plant that combined tomatoes and tobacco. Tomaco was hilarious and disgusting all at once. It tasted awful, but it was super addictive, grabbing the attention of both humans and animals in Springfield. The whole Tomaco craze wasn't just funny. It was a clever way to highlight real issues like addiction, corporate greed, and the unexpected problems that can come from scientific experiments. While Homer's Tomaco stand became wildly popular, it outshined Marge's wholesome mincemeat pies. It was a funny reminder of how unhealthy, addictive products often win out over better options in real life. Things got even crazier when executives from Laramie Cigarettes showed up, offering Homer $150 million for the rights to Tomaco. In true Homer fashion, he demanded $150 billion instead, making a point about how ridiculous it is to prioritize profits over people's health. The chaos hit a peak when addicted animals overran the farm, showing just how uncontrollable addiction can get, even in the animal kingdom. What's even more surprising is that this fictional plant inspired real-life science. In 2003, a man in Oregon grafted a tomato plant onto tobacco roots, creating his version of Tomaco. Though it was dangerous because of the nicotine, it showed how pop culture could spark real curiosity and experiments. Tomaco remains one of the most unforgettable moments in The Simpsons, blending humor and serious commentary. But just when you think Homer's adventures couldn't get stranger, in one episode, they hilariously uncovered a food scandal that no one could have guessed would turn out to be real, serving horse meat. 6. Horse meat scandal. In the 1994 episode Sweet Seymour Skinner's Badass song, a seemingly normal day at Springfield Elementary took a weird turn when lunch lady Doris prepared school lunch using assorted horse parts. At first, it seemed like just another random joke, but years later, this silly gag became eerily accurate. In 2013, Europe faced a massive scandal when tests revealed that many beef products contained horse meat. People were outraged to learn that some of their favorite foods weren't what they thought they were. Investigators found that over a third of beef burger samples from major retailers had horse DNA. This led to huge recalls and raised serious concerns about food safety and transparency. What seemed like a throwaway joke in The Simpsons suddenly felt like a warning. Lunch lady Doris serving horse meat was absurd, but it also highlighted real issues in the food industry, like how easily consumers can be misled and how complicated food labeling can be. The episode wasn't just about making people laugh. It pushed viewers to think about where their food comes from and whether they can trust what they're eating. The timing of the horse meat scandal made it clear just how sharp The Simpsons is when it comes to pointing out cracks in society's systems. While food safety scandals are unsettling, what about safety in industries where mistakes could be catastrophic? Let's head to the Springfield nuclear power plant to see how Homer handles, or completely mishandles, one of the most critical jobs in town. 5. Nuclear plant chaos. In the 1993 episode Homer Goes to College, The Simpsons took a sharp and funny look at nuclear safety, and how easily it can go wrong. The episode starts with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission showing up for a surprise inspection at the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant, where Homer Simpson works as a safety technician. Things go downhill fast. Homer is supposed to show off the plant's safety procedures, but instead, he accidentally sets off a fake meltdown. And where does this meltdown happen? In the inspector's van. While the scene is played for laughs, it points to a serious issue. What happens when someone unqualified is in charge of something so important? The inspection uncovers all kinds of problems, like negligence and unsafe practices. Mr. Burns, the plant's greedy owner, scrambles to avoid trouble, but it's clear the plant is a disaster waiting to happen. The episode humorously hints at real-world nuclear catastrophes like Chernobyl and Fukushima, showing how dangerous things can get when corners are cut and safety is ignored. Even the NRC inspectors, though portrayed as earnest, come off as overwhelmed and maybe even a little ineffective. It's a subtle jab at how people sometimes view regulatory bodies, well-meaning, but often tangled up in red tape. The result is a funny, yet thought-provoking episode that leaves viewers wondering how prepared we are for the risks tied to nuclear energy. Fast forward to today, and this episode feels more relevant than ever. With ongoing debates about nuclear power as a clean energy source and concerns about plant safety, The Simpsons once again proves it has a way of tackling big issues with humor and insight. But if you thought this look at institutional failure was sharp, wait until you see how the show took a beloved Hollywood icon and made him the face of a satirical political moment, one that unexpectedly came to life years later. 4. Tom Hanks's credibility. In the 2007 The Simpsons movie, Tom Hanks pops up in a short but unforgettable cameo. Playing himself, he delivers this biting line, "The US government has lost its credibility, so it's borrowing some of mine." At the time, it was just a funny gag, but years later, it turned out to be eerily on point. Fast forward to January 2022, when the Biden administration celebrated its first year in office with a special video. And who was the star of the video? None other than Tom Hanks. In the clip, Hanks highlighted the resilience and strength of the American people, aiming to spread a positive message. But not everyone saw it that way. Many conservative commentators quickly pointed out the similarity to the Simpsons movie, saying it felt like the government was borrowing Hanks's credibility, just like the joke in the film. Some criticized the video as out of touch, arguing it showed how hard it was for the administration to connect with everyday Americans. Whether it's celebrities endorsing causes or fictional moments reflecting reality, these crossovers often spark heated debates about trust, authenticity, and the role of public figures in shaping opinions. From wildfires to royalty, The Simpsons has a knack for weaving real-life events into its quirky stories. But did the show foresee a shocking moment involving the Queen of England? Let's dive in. 3. Homer meets the Queen. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away on September 8, 2022, social media was buzzing with claims that The Simpsons had predicted it. But how true is that? The buzz came from an episode called The Regina Monologues, which aired back on November 23, 2003. In this one, the Simpson family travels to England. And of course, Homer being Homer, chaos follows. He ends up crashing into the Queen's royal coach, a disaster so big it gets him locked up in the Tower of London. The whole episode is filled with funny moments poking fun at British traditions and cultural differences. But here's the thing. The episode never mentioned the Queen's death. What sparked the rumors were fake images going around online after her passing. These doctored pictures showed a scene with the Queen in a coffin and even included her actual date of death. Fact-checkers quickly jumped in to clear things up, confirming that no such scene exists in any Simpsons episode. This isn't the first time the show has been dragged into wild conspiracy theories. Remember when people said it predicted Donald Trump becoming president, or even the COVID-19 pandemic? Most of these claims are either people stretching the truth or completely making stuff up, just like the Queen's death story. Still, the fact that Homer's silly encounter with the Queen sparked such a viral reaction shows just how much The Simpsons has influenced pop culture. But if you think this royal mess was wild, Wait until you hear about their take on futuristic tech that seems to have come true. 2. Apple Vision Pro. Back in October 2016, The Simpsons aired an episode called Friends and Family, where people in Springfield are seen using futuristic glasses that display digital information right in front of their eyes. Fast forward to February 2nd, 2024, and Apple unveiled its Vision Pro headset, a mixed reality device that feels like something straight out of that episode. Here's how the episode goes. Professor Frink is wearing some high-tech virtual reality glasses, and Mr. Burns gets hooked on the idea. He takes things up a notch, creating a digital version of his family while hiring the Simpsons, except for Homer, to play along as his virtual companions. It doesn't take long for the entire town to jump on the trend. What happens next? Chaos, of course! People get so distracted by the glasses they walk into lampposts and fall into manholes. When Apple showed off its Vision Pro, it felt like life was imitating art. This headset lets users blend digital elements with the real world, just like in the show. While we're not seeing everyone in the streets wearing them yet, early adopters are already using them for gaming, virtual meetings, and more. This episode is a perfect example of how The Simpsons mixes humor with a sharp eye for what's coming next. Their funny take on virtual reality now seems like a warning about how tech could change the way we live, both for better and worse. The Apple Vision Pro blurred the lines between the digital and physical worlds. But what happens when satire and reality collide in politics? Let's talk about how The Simpsons seemingly touched on one of Donald Trump's most unforgettable moments. 1. Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia. In May 2017, former US President Donald Trump visited Saudi Arabia, and one photograph from the trip instantly became an internet sensation. The image showed Trump, the King of Saudi Arabia, and the President of Egypt all placing their hands on a glowing orb. It looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, or maybe an episode of The Simpsons. Social media was quick to claim that The Simpsons had predicted this bizarre scene, sharing a picture that supposedly showed Trump in a similar moment. But here's the catch. It wasn't from any real episode. The image came from a short promotional video made by the Simpsons team. This clip, which marked Trump's 125 days in office, was posted on their official Facebook page. The original glowing orb photo wasn't a movie prop. It was taken during the opening ceremony of the Global Center for Combating Extremist Ideology in Riyadh. The orb, meant to symbolize global unity, quickly became a meme. People compared it to scenes from fantasy and science fiction, and the fake Simpsons connection only added to the chaos. This wasn't the first time The Simpsons was linked to Trump's presidency. A 2000 episode called Bart to the Future showed Lisa Simpson becoming president after inheriting a financial crisis from, you guessed it, Donald Trump. When Trump became president in 2016, that episode became a talking point all over again. Whether it's glowing orbs or satirical jabs at politics, The Simpsons keeps finding ways to reflect real life in surprising ways. The more you look at The Simpsons, the harder it is to call these predictions just luck. From wildfires to AI takeovers, Bitcoin to global conflicts, and even scientific breakthroughs, it's enough to send chills down your spine. What do you think? Are these predictions pure coincidence, or is there something more to it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed uncovering these eerie connections, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Who knows? The next Simpsons prediction could be happening right now, and we'll be here to break it down for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.